Social Recall. BBC Radio 6 Music.
And it's time for this week's Social Recall Mix. This is where we invite you to get in touch with us, tell us a story and share the soundtrack that brings it to life. So it could be anything really, a memory, a time or place you want to go back to, or as in the case of today's story, a kind of look back but also a look ahead to the future. On the line to tell us a bit more about it, we've got Mark Terry. Good morning, Mark. How are you and where are you waking up?
Good morning, Lauren. I'm very well, thank you. Hope you are too. I'm currently sitting in Wolverhampton, looking at a nice sort of cold, fresh morning through my dining room window. Looking forward to a day ahead.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to get in touch with your Social Recall Mix. And like I say, it is a kind of look back and a look ahead. It's inspired by some of the music that you've enjoyed live. Gigs have always been a big part of your life, which obviously means the last 18 months or so must have been quite tricky. Tell me about the story behind this mix and why you decided to get in touch.
Yeah, well, music's always been a huge part of my life, and I think like a lot of people, you can pinpoint certain sort of points throughout your life with sort of musical memories, but I think my life changed quite a lot, I suppose, on the 3rd of May 1988 when I went to my first live gig. Saw the Soup Dragons at the Hummingbird in Birmingham, and it was just an awakening, really.
Oh wow!
That excitement of seeing your first band live, not knowing what they might play, what they might change or even mess up, and that shared enjoyment, with other people that love the same stuff.
Yeah.
Always loved the mosh pit, so I'd like to get involved in that sense as well. But so many different aspects to live music, not just the band you've been to see, but kind of the next new favourite band you might actually sort of find because they're on the support bill as well. So it's led to a lot of fantastic memories. I've made a lot of lifelong friends through going to see gigs, especially sort of local bands in the 90s. A few of those took me under their wing, possibly trusted me a bit more than they should have, but I think I got away with it.
And is it right that, you've ended up in some unexpected situations? Because like you say, you go to see the headline band, but actually the support band can end up being the ones who then become legendary. You ended up at the first ever Oasis gig, is that right? Yeah, I've been dining off that story for 30 years now. I made friends with a band called Sweet Jesus from Birmingham. They signed to Rough Trade and put out a couple of singles back in the day, and they took me up to the Boardwalk in Manchester for one of their gigs. Oh, yeah.
So, it was one of those nights where things, like you said, don't go quite as expected. They should have been the support, but the main band, the headliner, all of their mates wanted to sort of see them and then clear off to the pub, so they swapped the bill around. Uh-huh. I ended up getting cajoled into doing the lighting for them and obviously messed it up, having no musical talent whatsoever.
Brilliant.
It was just a case of press these buttons, change the strobes, you'll be fine. Fade it out between the songs.
Yeah, exactly. Giving a completely inexpert person control of strobes, what could possibly go wrong?
Very dangerous. But it got reviewed in Melody Maker, so that was my moment of glory. And we later found out that support band was Oasis. So
oh my goodness,
all very weird.
So listen, now, despite all these adventures, you've never put a gig on yourself, but you are hoping to in the new year. Tell me a little bit about what you've got planned.
That's right. I think the event that I've sort of got planned is at Wolverhampton's Newhampton Arts Centre in January, and it's basically my way of trying to take something positive out of what's been such a difficult situation for so many people over the last 18 months or so.
Yeah.
Obviously, not being able to get out and do what you love, that's a real blow, but you've got to be mindful of the bigger picture, and I suppose the period that we had, where a lot of live bands then started to sort of fill dead time with live streams, it gets you closer, I suppose. You can always go up and chat to somebody at a gig, but it's a lot easier to comment on somebody's post, and before you know it, I find I'm chatting online with Tom Williams, Withered Hand, two artists that I really, really love, and local artists like Alex Ohm and Jack Cattell. They did a lot of Facebook live streams, raised money for the Sunflower Lounge in Birmingham, because, it wasn't just individuals that struggled over the last 18 months. A lot of venues have found it difficult. It's been awful,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm big friends with Matt, who a lot of Six Music listeners will know as Bong Brummie. I am Clue to my favourite band.
I had to have the name explained to me at once. It was like, no, it's a reference to the Specials?
It's a Depeche Mode.
Oh, is it?
reference.
Right, okay, I knew it was a band. I knew it was like a Midlands band. Okay, fine.
But Matt runs Iron Clue Club, who are my favourite band, and he raised sort of £1,000 for the Help Musicians charity by selling club badges. Alex donated proceeds from his single Hours to Mind. So kind of seeing all of this going on in the background and sort of having a re-evaluation of where I was personally and sort of what we were looking forward to, I suppose. It just kind of coincided with that desire to do something myself, put a gig on, but not having any musical talent as such, didn't really know where to start. It just kind of felt, well, if I'm going to do it, I need to do it now. And I wanted it to be that big celebration, bringing people together and ultimately making a little bit of a difference. So we're putting it on in aid of Samaritans. Got some fantastic local bands playing. I say local, you know, they're all on Spotify, download sites. A lot of them play nationally as well, well known across the Twitter community. So it's just an opportunity to hopefully do some good and really enjoy getting back together again in the same room.
Mark, where can people find you if they want to find out more about that?
There's Twitter accounts, Instagram, Facebook. It's community_WMids. And obviously the New Anton Arts Centre website has got all the details as well.
All right, so. and I think most of the tracks on that you've chosen today are pretty self-explanatory, but there is the first one I wouldn't mind a little, very quick explanation on, if you don't mind, because I haven't played it before. The Times. Yeah,
the Times were a kind of a band that I fell in love with in the late 80s. Kind of my first memory of listening to John Peel. So again, you kind of go from just watching Top of the Pops to starting to explore things that you wouldn't ordinarily sort of immediately come across. And again, it's kind of one of those songs that also makes me think of social media and how that connects people as well. Because when MySpace sort of first kicked in, quite incredibly, I ended up becoming friends in the loosest sense of the word with Edward Ball, who wasn't just kind of the frontman of the Times and a member of TV personalities. You know, he was Creation Records A&R man. So it's almost like one of those songs that just covers so many bases and just makes me appreciate what you can actually do when you start just chatting to somebody randomly, or you know, sending somebody a message that, you know, just asking them politely for something, and before you know it, you're involved in this conversation.
Well, Mark, thank you very much for talking to us today. It's a real pleasure. Best of luck with Community. Obviously, I know, you know, it's a tough time still as we continue for little venues and gigs and stuff, but when you get out there, I hope it's a roaring success, and lovely to hear your story and to share these tunes today. Thanks so much for your Social Recall mix.
Thank you very much, Lauren.
Take care,
it's been a pleasure.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Social Recall. BBC Radio 6 Music.
Where am I? In the village. What do you want? You won't get it.
By hook or by crook, we will.
Whose side are you on?
That would be telling.
Who are you?
The new number 2.
Who is number 1?
You are number 6.
I'm not a number. I'm a free man. My life is my own. I. Patrick McGoon escape. Now he's hiding from the human race. Patrick McGoon escape. He lives next door to the man in a suitcase.
Social Recall.
Jokes, your hoax in a box. Shoot the chains, loose the locks. Leash your mind, find a better rate. If freedom feels like a first mistake, life in a day, life in a day.
Clute and Life in a Day. Released on the Echo label in 2003, The Times from 82, released on Art Pop. From their album Pop Goes Art, I Helped Patrick McGoon Escape is the beginning track on the Social Recall mix, courtesy of Mark Terry today. As he said, he's starting this event called Community, celebrating West Midlands and the wider friendships that happen when like-minded individuals come together. It's happening at the Arts Centre in Wolverhampton in January, hopefully, headlined by Alex I think. And if you want to find out more, you can find them online at Community West Mids.
Social Recall. Social Recall.
No, it ain't the same being a man today. No, it ain't the same. No, it ain't the same being a man today. No, it ain't the same waking up to this disarray. This uncertainty only seems to serve the misery. May a place on me, might take from me all of this food. I do not need it. I believe in magic because I've seen it. Nothing you, the ego, you know already how it goes. I got a strong man, strong girl from my head to my toe, back to my ego. These earthly habits, they got to get going. I let go of desires, but have I truly let go of the fires that burn them and fuel them? It's so hard to be human with a battle in mind. I have lost all devotion over time. I'm on a path of remembrance, and I'm remembering fine. Having nothing that's mine, only borrowing time, my time. Chatting to God, unworthy of his time. With all these doubts in my mind, trying to cast aside. Left to struggle in my right. No, it ain't the same being a man today. No, it ain't the same. No, it ain't the same. Battles dwell like city kids beneath the poverty line. I'm feeding my senses. Food for thought is money well spent it. Cause most of our so-called knowledge is rented, invented, depends on flippant frenzies. Social scenarios, holler like Cheerios, you hear me though? Never thought I'd be coming out your stereo, but there we go. Mac to it's written, you know. No, it ain't the same being a man today.
Really sensational Social Recall mix today. This is Green Tea Peng and No, It Ain't the Same. More recent discovery in over 30 years of gig going in the West Midlands. For listener Mark Terry, who put this mix together. This is from Green Tea Peng's album Man Made. House Love before that from 88, Christine. Mark Terry is running Community, that celebration of music in the West Midlands, and a big reaction from further afield to this. Listeners all over the place getting in touch. Amazing, says Nigel. So great to hear. I helped Patrick McGoohan escape on the DAB airwaves. One of my favourite tracks, along with the Prisoner TV show from the 60s. HBH says, I'm Clute, needs to be on the airwaves more often. How good to hear John Bramwell blasting out my speakers. And David says, brilliant to hear the same track, The Times, and I helped Patrick McGoohan escape. Haven't heard it since my student years in the 80s. Well, if there's a track you want to hear on air, get in touch. If it's a Christmas deep cut, could be eligible for the People's Playlist this week. But this feature, Social Recall, is open to everyone. So tell us a story with the music that soundtrack set. You can email me, as always, lauren.6music@bbc.co.uk. It's just gone 9:30 and this is 6 Music. 6 Music.